Whoa, people, whoa, what up, what up, what up? How y'all doing today, man? Got Chicago's finest, man. Matt Hoffa gives his comeback on the Styles P, controversy. So, man, y'all, I got a response and the outlook on this show. Let's talk about it. What up, people? What up? What up? Morning, folks. Good afternoon. Good evening in other parts of the world. Let's get it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Salute, 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 salute to the people. How everybody doing today? Man, I don't know who I'm going to tap in with me today, man, but like, subscribe, and share, man. Like, subscribe, and share. Man, so Mav Hoffa. Salute to my expert opinion. Salute to Styles P. Salute to old boy J Hood also. I did a little take on it yesterday. And, man, Mav Hoffa came back with a man, I respect the way he came back about how this whole situation going. You know what I mean? So salute to them brothers, man, for keeping it respectable as possible. But man, my take on it is on this, the comeback, because like I said yesterday, I believe it could have went either way. J Hood could be telling the truth. You know what I mean? Styles P could feel like he ain't do nothing wrong. So that, with that being said, like Matt Hoffa said, he tried to reach out to Sheik. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody reach out back out to him. He said, nigga, Styles P, you have my number instead of coming on here, violating my platform. So, you know what I mean? But man, it's like, what do people expect? And I mean, in my expert opinion, that's actually a platform right now where they go in there and they let the artists go in there and speak their truth. You know what I mean? So is he not supposed to let J Hood say how he feel? Because Styles P them a bigger artist or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, man, you gotta. I like his response to it, and he kept it G. And he like, man, he extended his hand, so he like, man, I ain't did no sucker shit. You know what I'm saying? He reached out before he even put the interview out. He said, because it felt real controversial, so he could get him a heads up. And ain't nobody reached back. You know what I'm saying? So they can't be mad at that brother, man. Because it's always what they say, 3 sides to a story. You know what I mean? 3 sides to a story, man. So I respect the way Hoffa came back at it. And he ain't do it on no rah-rah shit. He kept it on, man, my platform is authentic. My platform is straight up. And my platform ain't doing this shit for clickbait. You know what I mean? And I can respect that, and I actually agree with him that my expert opinion, one of the better places to check out these interviews and shit right now, because man, I'm a hip hop historian as well, and I remember all of that little shit, and it's like, man, Styles and them gotta understand, like it's a group of people that group of individuals, J Hood, that was raised on J Hood, so they side with J Hood no matter what. No matter what. Some of these little cats that's in their mid to late 30s right now that remember J Hood, because J Hood was a spitter. He was a spitter. But at the same time, he like, it's believable because he just disappeared. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Matt Hoffa did nothing wrong. It's like, man, because he said, you know what I mean? Because you got to think about the Locks whole. They got two eras of conversation to talk about, and then once they got to talk about the DMX and you know what I mean, how they all from the same, you know what I mean, from the same area and all that shit. That interview, it went a couple of different ways, and was that laid out like that? No, I don't think the shit was on purpose. That's just how some interviews go, and you know what I mean. He didn't bring up J Hood and bully them to Styles, you know what I mean? Because that was being honorable, you know what I mean? Because it was messy. But it's like, man, he can't control, he also can't control what. I wound up watching it, because at first I wasn't even interested in the J Hood interview. I wound up going back and watching it. Man, J Hood was like, that whole interview was like, he was popping shots at Mav, and it was trying to like guide that shit. So you know what I mean? I think Styles should have handled that a little differently. I mean, that's my opinion on it. But you can't stop an individual from telling their truth, even if they come on your platform, because you don't know who really telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't there, your job is to make sure you ask the quality questions. Your job is to make sure you're not directly stirring the pot to be on some bullshit with another artist, especially if you respect both parties. You know what I mean? Especially if you respect both parties. So I don't think Matt Hoffa did anything like directly wrong. You know what I'm saying? Now, them interviews being that close to each other, you could be like, maybe he was doing this shit. You know what I mean? But it's like, at the same time, he can't tell that brother what to say out his mouth. You know what I mean? So it's like, if your question is not leading, so a motherfucker can say something, you know what I mean, slick out their mouth, and it wasn't I wanted to watch, because I wasn't even interested in the J Hood, because I wasn't really a big J Hood fan. You know what I mean? He was from that little up and coming hip hop spitter. You know what I mean? He could spit, but I wasn't a big fan of him. But I do watch a lot of shit that went on the hip hop, man. I always was on the Source magazines, the Vibes, all of that shit. So I always kept up with what's going on. So you know what I mean? Shit, I definitely knew about him. Man, Papa Bacon, what it do, man? What it do? Man, that thing good. You say, are you serious? Who is Mav Hoffa? You don't know who Mav Hoffa is? Mav Hoffa is a legendary battle rapper. He's a legendary battle rapper out of New York. You know what I mean? He's known for he's had some classic battle raps, but his biggest claim to fame, and that was when he first started. He was a bully in the battle rap scene. He hit somebody in their mouth while they right face to face battling. But Mav Hoffa, he like really grew. He's a hell of an artist. He's a real good artist. But he has a podcast called My Expert Opinion, and you get a chance to check it out, because they have all the interviews with mostly the older rappers and shit. They got one with Fat Joe that was classic. They just did one with Bemmy and his sister that was classic. So, man, you get a chance to check out My Expert Opinion. They man, it's real. That's a nice platform. They sit down up in there and really go in. So like, yeah, man, yeah, they talk to everybody. You liable to see anybody on it. I mean, they take it from the 80s to 90s all the way up to today. You know what I mean? They got hundreds of interviews, man. Go check it out. If you like hip hop, go check that podcast out. My Expert Opinion. And they have some of everybody on there. Yeah, man, it's definitely worth it, man. But he did the comeback. He reached out to Sheik. He said he don't have Styles P number, but he reached out to Styles P manager. He reached out to Sheik Luke, and nobody got back at him. So, you know what I mean? He like, man, he feel kind of insulted that Styles would take a shot at his platform because, you know, he cannot tell a, you know what I mean, tell another one of his guests what to say. He said because they don't lead the questions. You know what I'm saying? They let it just flow, and it's real. It's like a barbershop conversation. You know what I mean? They sit down in a barbershop setting, and man, it's probably about 5 or 6 of them up in there. And you know what I mean? You got one dude, he used to work at the Vibe. You got Math Hoffa. You got it's a bunch of New York dudes, man. It's a real cool setup. I actually like, that's one of my better favorite podcast shows right now as far as hip hop right now. So man, you get a chance, check that out. Excuse me. But man, he gave J Hood the mic. He can't tell that kid, man, how he should be feeling about how they dealt with his contract situation. You know what I mean? And Styles P and them, you know what I mean, man? You know what it is. Because J Hood was a mixtape. You know what I mean? He was that mixtape era. So it's a lot of people that's gonna rock with Shorty, even though they LOX fans. You know, so he felt like Styles P should have took a shot at, you know, his platform. I grew up in the 80s listening to stuff like Kool and the Gang, Ohio Players, George Duke, etc. Man, I can relate. Yeah, man, I got a range of music. You know what I mean? I'm a hip hop. That was my first love. So I'm definitely a hip hop historian, but I like R&B. So you know what I mean? I love music. You know what I mean? I grew up, man. I was a kid. I've got many whippings from my mom because the old record players. I broke so many needles on my mom record player, man, because I used to always go grab her albums, man, them old George Clintons and all of that, man. Man. So that got me into music very early in my life, man. That having a record player in my house. And my mom used to tear my ass up. And I broke so many needles. I don't know if you remember the old record players. But man, they definitely got he got a cool platform. But not right. Oh yeah. It's like, man, but my expert opinion, he felt like Styles P should have took a shot at their platform because they talked about Puffy. He gave Styles P the floor to talk about how Puffy carried them brothers. So what's the difference when he give their former artists the same stage to talk about how he feel as though they did him? You know what I'm saying? You can't be biased on one end when it's beneficial to you, but open to do that same situation when it come to you. You know what I'm saying? So man, egos is a motherfucker, you know? But man, much respect to Styles P. Much respect to Math Hoffa for keeping it grown and respectable while standing on your square and not allowing somebody just to take a shot at your platform and let people decide on their own who to believe. The truth of the matter is, J Hood was I don't think they pushed him like they could have. He's talking about the money they owe him and everything, but I could believe both sides for real, you know? Because man, it was a mixtape era. The mixtape era, we got to remember when that was. You wasn't a lot of album sales right at that time in them 90s, man. So, you know, you gotta look at it for what it is, man. But man, Baba had to stand up for his platform, and I appreciate it. And he still extended his hand, like, man, Styles, we still need to talk. You know what I'm saying? We still need to chop it up because I did reach out before I dropped the interview because it was so controversial. So don't come like I did some on purpose sucker shit. You know what I'm saying? So and Styles ain't get back at him. She can't get back at him. And you know what I mean? He extended his hand, man. So what he's supposed to do? Not put out his material for his platform, waiting on you to decide if you're gonna call him back or, you know what I mean? Like, come on. We got to keep it grown, man. If you can talk about your history, which he did, he went all the way back to the beginning. He talked about how Puffy jerked him over. So what's the difference? J Hood got that same, you know what I mean? He have that same right. And he got the opportunity for him to tell his truth. What's wrong with that? I think Styles need to get about his feelings and, man, take it for what it's worth. You know what I mean? If you disagree, how many interviews you gonna go on and you're gonna get 100% agreement with the other side? Very few, right? So I mean, he got the right to, man, put that material out, and he got the right to get J Hood the platform to tell his story, just like he did him. So you know what I mean, man? I salute all them brothers, man. Let's keep it. They not on there talking about pulling up on each other. So I respect that. They both put their feelings out there. They both, you know what I mean, so-called check the other one and put the other one in his place. But man, it's all right down the air, so everybody take it upon itself to see who you believe. Me, I just respect the fact that it's a platform to talk about real hip-hop without having, you know what I'm saying, all the frou-frou shit going on. I saw a battle rap on YouTube the other day. It was KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane on the verse. Oh yeah. That one actually turned out. I actually watched that one. It was unfair to me. How did you see that? I think KRS-One took it, but you got to respect how Big Daddy Kane rocked the crowd. You know what I mean? Because the Big Daddy Kane, he rocked the crowd, but KRS-One, as far as being a spitter, I think KRS-One, you know what I mean? He's one of the GOATs. You know what I mean? He's definitely a GOAT. he's one of the greatest all time on that battle rap scene. So, man, I just wanted to tap in on that, man, and say salute to those brothers, man. And everybody have their own opinion about how they did this or how they handled their business in the music. But we got to remember them 90s, man. It wasn't a lot of record sales. It wasn't a lot of, you know what I mean? It was especially in New York. New York had to live down. That was when New York was looking up at that West Coast at that time. You got to remember. So it was like, man, there was a lot of shit going on. But peace to all them brothers, man. It was good to see J Hood because I hadn't seen him in a while on nothing. And man, Styles P and them, they're three-headed monster. They GOATs. And salute to my expert opinion for giving these brothers a voice, man. Giving them a voice on an honorable platform, for real. Get a chance, really check it out. That's one of the few out here that I really can sit down and watch. Because they dig deep into from the beginning all the way up to the day, man. So, you know, I just wanted to tap in and say, man, salute to them brothers, man, for keeping it grown, man, and agreeing to disagree and not out here on some, I'm going to pull up all the rah-rah shit. So, man, we need to see more of that, real. But, man, I appreciate all y'all tapping in, man. I just wanted to, you know, speak on that one real quick, man. So, definitely appreciate you, Five. Man, check me out, man. I got a lot of good stuff coming, man. So, y'all keep it safe. Y'all be easy, man. And I just wanted to put a little few things in perspective, man. So, everybody keep it tight, man. The wife's about to go get something to eat. So, man, like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Yak, Chicago's finest. Thank you, folks. And now I got to go with the wifey and take the ferrets to the doctor. You heard me? Take the ferrets to the doctors. That's what I'm doing today. Holla back, people.